What an unruly dragon! This species seems to rely on its fire more than anything else. Let's find out why this evolved and how it uses it in today's dragon profile. I'm Sawyer Lee, and I've been writing and illustrating the Dragonslayer Codex, a survival guide to dangerous dragons. Today's species requires us to launch an expedition into the labyrinthine Gorge Lands, an arid region neighboring the aforementioned Dune Sea. To survive here, one must first note some features common to this rocky maze, such as its incredible verticality. Deserts are known for their horizontal expanses, but the Gorge Lands extends as far down as it does up, formed during the ancient tectonic events that shaped the geography of this world. The region is a scar, a deep scab that reminds us of the temporary balance of nature. To enter, any sort of climbing gear is a necessity. I recommend grappling hooks and spiked boot attachments so you aren't taken out by something as unheroic as a slip. As for clothing, camouflage neutrals are recommended, as many of the creatures here have decent to poor eyesight and may overlook you. Of course, any water skins and food rations are necessary. Just make sure they're secured tight and won't reveal your location by scent. Before entering, I recommend you stop by a Houndkeeper village, or ideally their undercity. Here you can, funds permitting, purchase a sand sled, extra grapples, or rent a dog handler if you are after a target and need it tracked down with efficiency. Here in the Gorge Lands, sandstorms and sun damage are weakened by the towering rock walls, but in its place come faunal dangers. These come in all shapes and sizes, such as the deer-sized trunked boardfoot, likely among the first creatures you'll see. These rodents feed on morning petals found atop the cliffs, using their ears to dispel heat. They are numerous and may fall prey to many predators here, such as the blue-beaked griff, a turkey-sized bird that dispatches prey with a hooked beak and thorny legs. They often give chase to humans and are found in the middle levels of the gorge. Here too you'll find the clay false dragon, a flying reptile with modified ribs serving as wings. They possess true flight, but share no relation to the large dragons documented in more detail within this guide. Like hawks, they seek rats and moles, and may be trained like one too. Nettlebacks are alligator-sized lizards feeding on cactus flesh. Common food for humans, they are baited easily and are drawn to several hunting grounds, where they are quickly culled and carted to the nearest city tunnel. Now you'll know you have entered Hellbasker territory by the presence of a gorge armorhead, a member of a family of boar that have become near ceratopsian in both appearance and lifestyle. Being the largest herbivore within the zone, they are ideal prey for the finicky and choosy Hellbasker, who prioritizes a dangerous hunt for the promise of a better meal. More on that in a bit. Armorheads produce hog's wool, a very breathable yet durable material highly prized by any wearer who knows their worth. These creatures have a nasty habit of breaching human-made tunnels with their den making, which leaves the city vulnerable to dragon attack. Now that we have a gist of the ecological happenings within the gorge, it's time to turn our attention to the beast at hand, the Hellbasker. Now onto their characteristics. These dragons are very lizard-like in appearance, with the sprawling posture which portrays their position in the ancient Lacertipode clade. This archaic body plan works well for them, enabling the worm to squeeze into tunnels, hide in crevices, and adhere to walls while remaining low profile. A look to the wings shows significant slotting and a round shape overall, ideal for tight turns and short bouts of airtime. The head is wedge-shaped and tall, seen also in the skull. Further analysis suggests that this creature has a keen sense of smell, and indeed individuals may be able to recognize each other by scent. Interesting to note, their teeth are flexible like that of a python, able to lay flat inside the mouth. This keeps the teeth out of the way during their incredibly powerful bouts of fire breath, which is also seen to char their scales black over time, much like burnt metal. Charring aside, Hellbaskers sport vivid coloration, which also acts as a warning sign to larger dragons or competitors, such as the similarly named Hellmouth, a mammal who will get its own video later, of their fiery wrath. Strong fire, big attitude, and vibrant scales cover for the fact that, compared to many dragons, a Hellbasker isn't all too large. They measure about 2.4 meters in length, which is about 8 feet, and being so low to the ground they are not very tall. Their tails are short, but allow the beast to avoid getting pulled out of hiding, and hide they love to do. Regarding their ecology, most of the day is spent dormant. A keen eye may be able to spot one of these dragons motionless, waiting from a ledge, half asleep, great resembling some sort of giant viper in demeanor, and much like a serpent, react lightning quick to the presence of prey. Let me give you a scenario. An armorhead, alone and separated from the herd, stumbles through the twists and turns of the ravine's belly. This confusion alerts a female Hellbasker. She recently laid eggs and needs to regain her strength. When the boar wanders close, she strikes, streaking through the air with haste. She must be efficient, for a Hellbasker cannot truly fly, and relies on an efficient glide to reach its prey. One wrong move, and she will crash into stone. Distance closed, the dragon crashes its wedge-shaped head into its prey for an initial stun, then clings to its back and beams a split second of its intense flame into the back of the neck, melting enough of the vertebrae to where the beast will no longer fight back. She will subsist off of this meal for a week before needing to hunt again. A word on the fire. The Hellbasker's flame makes this species one of the most powerful dragons alive, and certainly the most potent fire breather in this world. Its color starts pure white, with a blue surge before lacing with yellow at its very farthest point, a tell of its heat, which can reach 1,926 degrees Celsius in 3,500 Fahrenheit. Much like the venom of the diminutive coral snake of Earth, this intense temperature cripples prey much heavier and stronger than itself quite quickly, and, most importantly, dissuades predation on the dragon, which may find itself targeted by the aforementioned Hellmouth, and even the sand-skimming whaling bishop, who it encounters while roosting in rocky shelters for the night. The bishop makes a point not only to prey on adults, but even crush any eggs they find. Hellbaskers are known to steal bishop whelps while the parents forage as well. These temperatures are enough to melt rock, and coalitions of Hellbaskers excavate deep tunnels with their flame. Cooling down is important to all fire breathers, but especially this species. 5 gills line each side of their necks, and 3 on their torso. After a blast, the dragons will expel the rippling, heated air from these vents, and must rest a while before using this ability again. Most dragons have these gills, though they are well hidden. On the Hellbasker, however, it is especially obvious. All of this species' energy goes towards maintaining their intense flame-based ability, and they are keen not to waste it. Any threats are met with a loud, raspy hiss and puffs of steam. If it is recently eaten, this does not guarantee an attack. Step away before it decides you're worth another jet of fire. Hurricanes from the tropical continent east of the Gorge Lands bring 3 weeks of rain a year. During this time, the fauna of the Gorge Lands multiply and feast on the abundance of food. Hellbaskers must be swift. Luckily, the female's femoral pores act as a homing beacon to local males, who arrive and compete for her attention, posturing to display their colorful backs, shooting jets of flame into the air, and even fighting if one will not back off. These wrestling matches can include several males at one time, if the female does not select quickly enough. The winner is he who outlasts the others and thus gains the right to mate. Mothers lay the eggs deep within their tunnels, in a pile of plucked beast hair, soil, and shed skin. Clutches usually number around 16, and are incubated for a total of 6 months. The first 4 are spent, with the mother fiercely protecting her brood sprawled atop them. During the remaining 3, she hides each egg within a small crevice or hole around the layer, reducing the chance of losing the entire clutch. Whelps hatch precocial and care for themselves immediately, taking on the niche of a medium-sized lizard, though one should note, even newly hatched Hellbaskers can breathe a jet of fire. Note how these whelps have coloration meant to blend into the sand. As they age, it will tint a plum color, then blacken with age as it is exposed to its own fire. In regards to their relationship with humans, The dragon's size means it will not shy away from preying on them, who would make a rather substantial meal, I would say. When excavating burrows with their fire or pursuing an armorhead into one of theirs, it is possible that the Hellbasker will accidentally enter an Undercity, being one of the few species capable of a total breach. Often exhausted from the fire breathing, however, it is possible to catch an invader while it is recovering and slay it, but one who is fully rested will feast on whoever it finds. Additional stress from being attacked may spur further aggression, and the tight halls and corridors of an Undercity happen to be the perfect habitat for this species, who just love enclosed spaces. Because of this, it is easy to understand why Hellbaskers are feared by the public. The key to overcoming fear is understanding, however, and scholars are pondering over this species to better prevent breaches and build new settlements in soils that they do not prefer. The flame gullets of this creature are sought after for their oils and fats. It is unknown how, but they seem to make forges burn hotter. Now about battle tactics. If stalked by a Hellbasker, find and stand within the widest, most open space you can find. If it has no immediate access to vertical surfaces to climb upon, it cannot use its gliding or jumping abilities. The sprawled reptilian posture will make it ungainly on the flat surface and put it in a defensive mode. Bait that fire out any way you can, and take advantage of its exhaustion. Only encourage a flame attack if you are absolutely prepared, however. Full exposure ignores any shields, armors, or crafty contraptions at hand. Now, note some of its strengths and weaknesses. For its strengths, we have the fire breath, of course. It's the strongest known of any dragon. The fire is said to be ineffective at killing things, but this dragon seems quite apt at doing just that. Second, survivability. It can withstand harsh elements and is immune to chemical warfare. Loose congregations. They are not pack hunters, but tolerate other dragons when fully fed, much like large crocodile groups do on Earth. They may decide you are worth ganging up on, if you are too bold. Now for their weaknesses. Their size and stature. Much like a large winged lizard, it has limited stamina and cannot give chase for long after its initial flight. And it's quite primitive. Being a rather basal in form, it is easily baited by traps and will strike at decoys placed within range. Tracking this dragon from within the Gorge Lands is simple. Look for burnt stretches of land first and foremost, for you see, if they wish to extend their airtime, a gliding Hellbasker will breathe a line of fire before itself, letting the rising heat give them an aerial boost. This leaves dark, scorched marks in the surrounding rocks. Otherwise, the only thing you'll hear is a long hiss from a beast surprisingly well camouflaged as it sat perfectly still on the rock above you. Hope it's not hungry. Pheromone have been extracted from live-caught specimens currently held in an enclosure for study. Be sure to use this responsibly, such as in traps. Opening it prematurely will attract Hellbaskers near and far, and such an end is sure to burn. Now that we understand a little more about the natural habits of the Hellbasker, I would like to thank you for watching. This dragon was one of the very first I created for this project, a long while ago, and I'm glad to see it realized. If you didn't know, I'm making a book compiling all of my dragons, and if you'd like to help support my ability to work on my art, please consider joining my Patreon. We've got all sorts of cool exclusive things over there and merch as well. Of course, thank you to those who have joined me and make all of this possible. A special thanks to my top patrons, listed here. If you'd like to join me, please see the link in the description below. Thank you. Until next time.